sitting in the ashes of what remains. The world stopped spinning and the winds have changed. The tides poured the blood out of the earth and the sky went purple when the sun started to bleed. Just sitting in the ashes of what remains. The world stopped spinning and the winds have changed. The tides poured the blood out of the earth and the sky went purple when the sun started to bleed. Bad habits cause the earth to split. A nervous twitch hurled our kids into a burning pit. Zero by nature with something dead is being encrypted in the DNA. Playing out with the dollar sign and brave that across to the top for road to pay. Spending on those nuclear power techniques. 2 generations lost at one stone. The bastards gave me chair but the gold throne. Old souls should be stillborn instinct are animals. Nothing beautiful but the misery is preserved for the ash of planting of stuff. Spoke up the worker bees are queen discover sweeter honey. The shipment overseas to the mandatory no suicide policy. Up in the morgue where the people are hella chill. And silence is perfected the second before the ghost is built. With them nothing but suckle the mother drag of hope. True to bury the bones. To the city of gold where the gods are older under the stone. Soak up all the poison that needs for the positives. Addiction is your favorite mask and attention are dead hostages. Strike up another loss of the evil in the gospel hymn. But the secret language of feeling that's imprinted under the ink and skin. Let's write a future with flames and smoke. I make the dying breathe. Nothing less than landscape of hope. In the field of damaged seeds, I'm just letting it happen. It didn't mean much to me, but the playground and the ashes is in the all I see. Father Time got his fingers trapped in the gears to make him tick. It's time to clock out and take a recess in another stream click. Just sitting in the ashes of what remains. The world stopped spinning and the winds have changed. The tides poured the blood out of the earth and the sky went purple when the sun started to bleed. Just sitting in the ashes of what remains. The world stopped spinning and the winds have changed. The tides poured the blood out of the earth and the sky went purple when the sun started to bleed. When I collapse, I build a sort of battered flesh off the earth. A flickering sun beside us all will give an infinity picture word. Holding on for nothing, for it is everything that the world forgot. That the holographic universe to the gut starships gets within oneself. I ripped the temporary benefits and tried to lift it off my chest. All subtle twisted and carry thoughts away was stumbling up a legend. Childlike, unknowing that's handled by curiosity. At the worst, it's planted to shrink and everything, and it's just the comforting. How comforting, one size fits all that's getting crowded. The many faces with inquisitive eyes of far sight. What can one do with its senses marching backwards? And you find it with the fear of being trampled on. Just to welcome out for this round that you agree to love. A footpath distorted by the tears of another lost to gain. Straight with the lighthouse fingers on the keeper plucking a heart made of vein. The process of piecing together a broken heart takes all the king's horses and all the king's men who will never take it back together again. This throne room is decorated by the whim of his poltergeist, with his queen's care stay for mirrors that sympathetic away from paradise. Watch the builders wobble as the body become a stable while worshipping everything they ever so distracted by artificial light.
Lighthouse, provide on the path for the voyage home.
This abandoned lighthouse resides an idea that prospered the thought alone keeps us alive. In this abandoned lighthouse resembles a little child that will cry when alone and unheard. In this abandoned lighthouse resides an idea that prospered the thought alone keeps us alive. In this abandoned lighthouse resembles a little child that will cry when alone and unheard. Once upon a shattered hourglass, there was a watchtower that experienced everything for us. We were then raised to only listen to the stories and believe these characters were praiseworthy, led astray from taking the journey for ourselves. These were the thoughts that were swept under the rug. We lose a piece of ourselves with every breath. We shatter daily get truth to get buried under the skin shed by those around us. Upholding a posture but following gravity, why has nothing really changed? Walking in circles, forgetting the hurdles of the high horses that seem to only take up with fitting into your judgment. Watch this tumble. Hogging the puddles, backstabbing the nobles that led us to water, only for us to hoard it all and drown. Soiled, wishing well. Walking in circles, forgetting the hurdles of the high horses that seem to only take up with fitting into your judgment. Watch this tumble. Hogging the puddles, backstabbing the nobles that led us to water, only for us to hoard it all and drown. Soiled, wishing well.
Would I have for the voyage home.
Enter to the temple will enter you. God. The body is the vessel that bodies you. Enter to the temple will enter you. God. The body is the vessel that bodies you. Enter to the temple will enter you. The body is the vessel that bodies you. Enter to the temple will enter you. God. The body is the vessel that bodies you.
Please stop haunting me. Your ghost will never take a part of me. Please stop haunting me. Your spirit's just another little voice I keep locked up in my head.
The door blew open, the wind carried my attention through its halls. The walls were painted in my blood. A statue chiseled by tooth and granite stone opened its mouth and stole my face. My soul stepped out. Walking through the chambers of a blackened heart, the fallen sit and speak in time of wings and the influence that they had on man. The years they turned to push the norm of cycles to the death of all the fall of humanity. A blinding light that man couldn't see. The promise we spoke into the pits of a serpent filled its fangs and bit the many. Under one that became the first, and by God the tip of all their clock fingers were severed when they were caught at the start of the machine that was used to chase the sun into place. Anchored in truth, floating in lies. Solar insides, crescent right eye. A sense of observing your body fully detached, a building of shells that still hatched and hell cracked in the kiln. Rising from the flames with imperfections melted into my skin, the chain that links us all together became a myth. Before it broke, I had to staple my lips before it spoke, and it told me the passing of light is always followed by dark. Draining the poison of the body, the fluids, the rapid, the cubit, and heavenly garbage, the heart is taken, replaced by a feather, released into nature to soak in the ground. Wake up by dawn in the morning, it's coming out, open the coffin, and walk on the body and become the glow your chest was built to hold. Draining the poison of the body, the fluids, the rapid, the cubit, and heavenly garbage, the heart is taken, replaced by a feather, released into nature to soak in the ground. Wake up by dawn in the morning, it's coming out, open the coffin, and walk on your body and become the glow, hold and let go.
Please stop haunting me. Voice I keep locked up in my head.
Voice I keep locked up in my head. Enter to the temple will enter you. God, the body is a vessel that bodies you. Enter to the temple will enter you. God, the body is a vessel that bodies you. Enter to the temple will enter you. God, the body is a vessel that bodies you. Enter to the temple will enter you. God, the body is a vessel I keep locked up in my head. The temple will enter you. The body is a vessel that bodies you. Dancing through your web of lies, caught in your daily purge. Impressions printed through our minds, caught in your daily purge. Crafted to preserve our lives, caught in your daily caught in your daily Just simply me, bound shut to expand my voice aside. Beliefs fed by the nature of the nurtured seed, buried deep with a crack to feel alive. Hold firm, then follow peace. The path that bumps and valley peaks to attach a link to the chords behind the scenes. Vibrated dots perfected on sheets of a carbon me. Print both sides of one pass and press as God. Lithograph noise cutting through the fonts. Connect growth to youth and chant the proof against the patterns laid out beyond the reach of stars. All chipped right off the void, empty but full of life. Magic and broken faith held beneath the light through the grid. We all fill gaps with the persons that are struggling to maintain its joy. This switch is locked in place, fancy to the touch. Lost and I'm away, embrace the lose the clutch. Longing for the known, forgotten only once. Timeless letting go, seconds up in smoke. Fade to make believe, rolling in my own laugh to help me breathe. Alone but not alone, lead by looking back, somber with the glow. Don't follow me now, I'ma lead you to a black hole. Grow to sink a little deeper, uprooted to feed a filter, but the sediments is hella polluted. The harmony of breaking to pieces on the way to completion. Perfected but broken headless when intuition is needed. All muted to listen, catching nothing is wisdom. Cute voice calls out from the past. Inner guidance outspoken with torn maps, outdated firewalls and the blocking a life-changing patch. Is this made to blink like that? Batteries included, but nowhere to put them. Planned for a wedding, but paid for a funeral. Blamed for tranquility, she begged for a tidal pool. Yeah, I crafted the damage, insecurity. Nah, I ain't needing it back. Just want the plane to be fed to the creature of habit. Frustrated, gotta blame yourself. You're the crew and the captain. And the cracking. Falling from a cycle, just a person for sabbatical. Recycling, I hate just a bit of token for the merry-go. Round around, we try to be vomit emotions. They call it living, but it's really just a thorpe that is like its own. Fortified with a magic castle with its candles pointing at each other. See what happens when you live on the count of zero. One is not a building block, it's just a block. Hey, don't think before you leap, you're gonna do a belly flop. You did it regardless of what you projected. That image you polished was merely reflected. You should have just lived it and not be the witness. Built it, then burned it, repeated, and ashes. Don't cry to me about it, you're the one that need to make it click. Really though, I do it too. You did it regardless of what you projected. That image you polished was merely reflected. You should have just lived it and not be the witness. Built it to burn it, repeat it in ashes. So cry to being about it, you're the one. Huh? What is that?
Hey, the mole, what is that? It looks alive or something. Looks out of place. There's like a plastic hand to it. Maybe it fell from the sky. Is it yours? I mean, oh shit, it's a planet.
Caught in your daily bird, dancing through your web of lies. Caught in your daily bird, immersion sprinted through our minds. Caught in your daily bird, crafted to preserve our lives. Caught in your daily caught in your daily caught.
Look at all these crooked symbols that you use to build your psyche. Maybe if you turn them upside down, you'll find your roots to plant them. Look at all these crooked symbols that you use to build your psyche. Maybe if you turn them upside down, you'll find your roots to plant them. Look at all these crooked symbols that you use to build your psyche. Maybe if you turn them upside down, you'll find your roots to plant them. Look at all these crooked symbols that you use to build your psyche. Maybe if you turn them upside down, you'll find your roots to plant them.
Sometimes, when thinking out loud, I stand still, muzzled by my breath. Paralyzed in motions, these ideas, responses, they all came without guidance. Perhaps the silence is what's feeding it all.
I've forgotten who I was now. I lose sleep over fears of an empty wake. I've forgotten who I was now. I lose sleep over fears of an empty wake.
I always thought, well, maybe I wasn't thinking. The noise is just too soft to recognize. It's a hostage to my tongue.
To grieve is just an excuse to get my emotions heavily evolved into the faces for the events, make it a little easier for me to crawl out of the graves I dug for myself. There's a plot for every year spent fishing off the bridge over troubled waters, catching moments that people that choose to throw back. With a majestic pause, I intend to take the first step. The anxiety coils in my stomach as I take that painful breath. Take a glance at all that I have. Feel my greatest loss grip in the dirt, but my toes covered X. Have a chance to say my goodbyes to all of the secrets I've ever kept. They weep as they race out of my head. Each no face lie I've ever said. Symbol of a hater by the horns, engraved in a rotting headboard up at that bed. Being able to look back, my has cooled off for once, so I'm able to see what peaks in front of me. Looking at it, gonna be my mouth, never close, eyes blended and so sharp. Maybe I ever choose to forget my past, or it all just magically go away. But that's an ungodly desperate act till I walk around the path that's paved. One may believe that it's said and done, but it's trapped in a cycle that tends to vomit on my present days. But the time has come, this is what I meant when I said
I've forgotten who I was, now I lose sleep over fears of an empty wake. I've forgotten who I was, now I lose sleep over fears of an empty wake.
for the golden days that I pump for change. It was the that paid for the debt and cured for the tongue that scraped the bills off my family's plate. How the words made something so simple, deep and richer textures is truly perplexing. Yet we strive to communicate as if we're speaking a painting. Losing my grip, but it's time for the backspin. Yet there are totals that are around to remind me. At the first thought to the fear of falling, one must learn to embrace the knowing. You would think that the one that speaks this would somewhat have an idea of where he's going. Well, shit. Always forget we share the same fucking face. I tend to overlook for the nervous exit when surrounded by familiar faces into the room for the comforting darkness where you'll find me withering and stagnant, searching for another way to get out to be found inside another black hole. Clawing at the air like I can lift the weightless. I could try to become something of doubt, but the thought alone is religious illusion. I can't believe that in the moment I apply myself up a hand to the void. My smiles must be from somewhere else because they appear with the opposite feeling. Walk through life with two benefits, fight, steal another person with a bigger from another light star. Order brother, but I spoke to your classroom, put his papers out of my friend while sleeping. Almost did a wake up to see the morning, put it off for the cat they chose to put with this deep reference. Great don't end the slight idea of what I become. Creates another black hole. Another I walk around the path that's paved. We gather to speak the song that comes from you. Who cares who wrote it? It's built together to perfect this craft. The red balloon has just exploded. We are thought bubbles ready to burst. Speak the heart for the puddles we thirst. Take apart the ego disperse. Listen, this is understanding get across when I said
over fears of an empty wake.
I forgot who I was, now I lose me over fears of an empty wake.
Tap it, nudge it, a couple more notch. Tap it, nudge it, a couple more notch. Tap, tap, tap. Tap, 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 tap.
all these brighter lights could easily be extinguished. These worthless roaches scurry seconds before the heat hits. A great gift, let's toss shit to the masses and watch the effort branch into our wallets, and all they ever ask is, we're so pumping to change mode, that's what we want and that's what we get. Across to the face, 2 droppers all dead, we made the world a sin, now that's an educated guess. There isn't like a fountain of tiny button to make it happen, type of gadget, but maybe we can hatch it with just a one thought covered by the tornado of a mounted in blanket. Don't pose a threat to the man with a calm smile. What about getting sacred domicile worth the priest dissects a child? Now what the fuck is this planet melting into? We could almost reach out of the box if we learn to toot the reality down.
Just tap it and nudge it a couple more notches.
I'm playing wounded soldier, so please just pass me by. It's not my war, so sorry. The blood spilled isn't mine. I'm playing wounded soldier, so please just pass me by. It's not my war, so sorry. The blood spilled isn't mine.
Frontline with the blindfold where vitals trickle into portals where the devil lives in an oval, prescribing people to the ogres. We've been folded, deformed, and desires crumpled and shoved into fires, pummeled and poisoned by father. Tonight we'll drink and ignite the fire. Got the serpent through the throat with a loop and pull. Time to tie loose ends, they hang on to life with a noose and spools. The skeleton locked us in the closet and keeps a key chained to a jagged rib. Unsleep and just keep making it up from there, I guess.
Soldier, so please just pass me by. It's not my war, so sorry. The blood spilled isn't mine. I'm playing wounded soldier, so please just pass me by. It's not my war, so sorry. The blood spilled isn't mine.
Just tap it and nudge it a couple more notch. Just tap it and nudge it a couple more notch. Tap it and nudge it a couple more notch. Tap it and nudge it a couple more notch. Tap it and tap it and tap it, tap it, tap it and nudge it a couple more notch. Just tap it and nudge it a couple more notch. Notch.
It's that time of life. There's big changes. What was comfortable is no longer. What was everything to you is no longer. Why fight it? Because at that point, there's nothing you can do. The pain is just self-inflicted.
Steady for whatever temper tantrums, I thought you shiver with the cold. Truth that to seek the remedies of my youth, which I considered me my home. It's leaking fire from heaven, she's trying to cover her face with the floodgates with debris and souls put it up in a bloody tidal pool. I fell a little bit deeper into a coma, my own, with my eyes peeled, memory seeping out of the cracks that decor my skull, saving the leaking breath, the fed but fame channel through all of us. But if I put the grit of the flood life into the creature you fucking hate to trust. It took a lot of chest, a lot of chest. The sky burdens, a gut-wrenching scent of poison and magic. Moist, fresh corpse destroyed, fully regathering out to the surface. A choice after somewhere, behold the horse with his horse and minions. Poison, diminished, black noise to the static void from the legend. We can to the bitter, but nothing but the ground could split. So if we stand unified in our differences, we can fry this grid, flip the switch. The people, the worms, and earth, there's a hole in a giant's heart. The queen will fall ashore with you when the ancient father stops to reset his clock. I could've just dropped and let her go, the lights, the void. Try my best to make it work, but it was all just more. I could've just dropped and let her go, the lights, the void. Try my best to make it work, but it was all just more. I could've just dropped and let her go, the lights, the void. Try my best to make it work, but it was all just more. I could've just dropped and let her go, the lights, the void. Try my best to make it work, but it was all just more. Was tossed in the lion's den, then limped out with a king's crown. Tossed in the lion's den, then limped out with the king's crown. Was tossed in the lion's den, then limped out with the king's crown. Was tossed in the lion's den, then limped out